Hello. Hello. Uh, Good afternoon. Good evening. Hello. Uh, I'm ensuring that everything runs smoothly. In this lesson, we will be learning about matrices and transformation, and I believe that everything will work out well. Zuleka, if you are tuned in, you can type it on the comment section so that I'll know you are in, so that we can start our lesson. Just tap on the comment section, comment and say you are in, so that I'll know that we are together. And in this particular topic on matrices and transformation, we are going to be learning of something not different from matrices, the matrices that we did in Form 3, but this will be more on thank you. I can see you are in. So if you are tuned, we can proceed. I hope you are equipped with a graph book so that we are going to run smoothly. I'll just be doing sketches here, and you can be transferring that accurately on your workbook, and I believe everything will work out well. So in this lesson, we will be learning about how we use matrices. In this particular topic, we learn on how to use matrices, to transform, how to use matrices to transform. Remember, this is not the first time we are doing transformation. We introduced ourselves to transformation back in Form 2. In Form 2, where we learned of isometric transformation, and we said that isometric transformations, a good example of isometric transformation, we have reflection, we have rotation, we have what we call a translation. Why are they referred to us as isometric transformation? Isometric simply means the size of object and image, the size and shape of the object and image is equal. The size and shape of the object and the image are equal. That is what the term isometric transformation means. Then, so that means if we reflect a figure or an object and it forms an image, the size of the object and that of the image is the same. The size and the shape, the same with the rotation and translation. Then we have what we call non-isometric transformations. Non-isometric transformations. Non-isometric transformations are those transformations in which the shape and the size of the image is altered. A good example is enlargement. Enlargement, the size, it will interfere with the size. We also have what we call a shear, and we have what we call stretch. So enlargement, shears, and stretches are a good example of non-isometric transformation. So back in Form 2, we learned about general constructions and how to apply geometrical constructions to find or to reflect, to rotate, to translate, and also to enlarge. But through matrices and transformation, we are going to learn how to use transformation matrices to determine reflection, rotation, translation. We have enlargement, the shear, and the stretches. And without wasting much time, I had to do that recap so that we can see the relationship between transformations in Form 2 and transformations in Form 4. So right now, we are now going to deep dive into the main thing that we are supposed to do today. So, to start with, we will start on finding the image of an object. Finding the image of an object. How do we determine the image of an object? How do we determine the image of an object? I'm going straight to the point. I know you are conversant with these things, and I'm just doing like a summary as we are going to go about it. So I will not be into details as the course book is. I'll just teach the structure in which the exam comes in. So by saying finding the image of an object, we are going to do some few examples on this, and I trust that you can be able to maneuver through some of these examples. So by saying finding the image of an object, I mean the formula that we use is matrix multiplied by object is equivalent to image. Matrix multiplied by object is equivalent to image. Matrix multiplied by object is equivalent to image. So what does this mean? This means when you have the matrix of transformation and then you multiply it by the coordinates of the object, matrix multiplied by the coordinates of the object, it is definitely going to give us the coordinates of the image. It will give us the coordinates of the image. The coordinates of the image. So there is a question I want us to do here. I hope you have written that one down. In simple words, we simplify by saying Moi, the second president of the Republic of Kenya. Matrix times object is equivalent to image. Moi. So when you take the matrix of transformation, you multiply it with the coordinates of the object, it is going to form the image. I hope so far you've understood. So let us have a question that we can do here so that we can be able to internalize this information. As we said, we want to focus on the key areas that are assessed. The vertices of a triangle, the vertices of a triangle, the vertices of a triangle ABC are, the vertices of a triangle ABC are A, -1, -4, B, 3, 3, and C, 2, 5. Find the image of the triangle. Find the image of the triangle. Find the image of the triangle under the transformation, under the transformation whose matrix, under the transformation whose matrix is 4, -2, 6, -3. That is the question. 3 marks. We are told to determine. After determining, so we are going to determine the coordinates, but in that question it is also asking you also draw the object and the image on the same grid that is on your Cartesian plane, so that you can do it. After we are done, you can now plot it on a Cartesian plane. If I am clear and you can hear me clearly, just inform me on the comment section ili nijue unasikia vizuri. So I know you have already written down the question. I want us to respond to this question. So this is what happens. We have said that for us to determine the coordinates of the image, we are going to use the formula matrix multiplied by object is equal to image. Matrix multiplied by object is equal to the image. Therefore, we have our matrix as 4, -2, 6, -3, 4, -2, 6, -3, multiplied by the object. Our object is A, B, C, and our coordinates for the object were -1, -4, -1, -4. B is 3, 3. C is 2, 5. And by multiplying matrix multiplied by the coordinates of the object, it will definitely give us the coordinates of the image, which is A prime, B prime, and C prime. So Zuleika, you can probably respond to this before I proceed. Do you know how to multiply a matrix and a matrix? Do you know how to multiply a matrix with a matrix? Just respond it on the comment section so that I'll know if you know how to multiply a matrix with a matrix. Do you know how to multiply a matrix with a matrix? Yes, I'm waiting for your response. So for us to multiply a matrix with a matrix, what we are going to do is that we need to get the coordinates of A prime. So this is what we do. For us to get the first coordinate of A prime, we will take this first row here multiplied by the first column here, ili tupate hii ya kwanza, na ili tupate hii A ya hapa juu itakuwa 4 times -1 plus -2 times 4. That is how we go about it. So 4 times -1 is -4 plus -2 times 4 is -8. So -4 plus -8 itakupatia -12. -12. So this one here for x it will be -12. Alafu tuende ya chini, ya hapa chini ya A, coordinate ya chini ya A. So ya A nayo itakuwa, haitakuwa sasa ya juu, haitakuwa hiyo, itakuwa hii ya chini sasa. 6 -3 na bado -1 -4. So itakuwa 6 times -1 plus -3 times -4. 6 times -1 plus -3 times -4. So 6 times -1 itakuwa -6 plus -3 times -4. A negative number times a negative number is equal to a positive number. So we are going to get plus 12. So -6 plus 12 itatupatia 6. So this one is 6. Tumemalizana na A prime. Tuende B prime. B prime sasa tutaanza na ya juu. Ya juu itakuwa hiyo definitely na hiyo. So itakuwa 4 times 3 plus -2 times 3. So that will give us 4 times 3 is 12 plus -2 times 3 is -6. So that will give us 12 plus -6 is 6. Hiyo ikue 6. Alafu ya pili tutaenda ya chini, so tutaachana na hii, tuchukue hii. So itakuwa 6 na hii bado juni ya katikati, 6 times 3 plus -3 times 3. Hiyo nayo itakuwa 6 times 3 is 18 plus -3 times 3 is -9. So 18 plus -9 itakuwa 9. 18 plus -9 is 9. So hiyo itakuwa 9. Alafu tuende ya mwisho. Ya mwisho ni hii sasa. Ya mwisho ni hiyo, tunaanza na ya juu. Ya juu itakuwa 4 times 2 plus -2 times 5. So 4 times 2 is 8 plus -2 times 5 ni -10. So 8 plus minus 10 itakuwa 8 plus minus is minus, so 8 minus 10 is minus 2, so hapa itakuwa minus 2. Alafu tuende ya chini. Ya chini itakuwa 6 times 2 12 plus minus 3 times 5, minus 3 times 5, so itakuwa 6 times 2 is 12 plus minus 3 times 5 is minus 15, so 12 plus minus 15, this is minus, so it will be 12 minus 15 is negative 3. It is equal to negative 3. It is equal to negative 3. So the question was asking, find the coordinates of the image. 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 So A prime itakuwa negative 12 6. B prime itakuwa 6 9, and C prime itakuwa negative 2 negative 3. Have you understood? Have you understood? Have you understood? Just type it on the comment section so that I'll know whether you have understood. Then on your Cartesian plane, draw your object and your image. Draw your object and your image. Draw your object and your image on the Cartesian plane. You have to do another question. The vertices of a rectangle, example 2, the vertices of a rectangle are A, negative 1, negative 1, B, negative 4, negative 1, C, negative 4, negative 3, and D, negative 1, negative 3, full stop. A, on the grid provided, draw the rectangle and its image prime, B prime, C prime, D prime under a transformation whose matrix is -2, 0, 0, -2, 4 marks. I want us to do that question. So let's continue. So let us answer that question. You will check out on a video I made. I live streamed on matrices from 3 work. The whole of matrices I've taught it for the past 2 days. Today was the last day when I widened up matrices, and in that video I've also explained on how to multiply a matrix and a matrix. So if you have some gaps on matrices, just check out on that topic and you will be able to understand more and more. So let's continue. Let us continue. Haya. Staki tuwe na knowledge gaps, tafadhali. Staki tuwe na knowledge gaps. I want us to be in that position that when we are doing this, we have already covered that. Sindio? Yes. So, as the question reads, on the grid provided, I believe you have a grid on or a Cartesian plane. The vertices of a rectangle A, B, C, D are drawn, and we have been given the matrix of transformation. Remember we said more E. Matrix times object is equal to image. Matrix times object is equal to image. So we are going to multiply our matrix -2, 0, 0, -2 multiplied by our object A, B, C, D is equal to our image is -1, our object is -1, -1, B -4, -1, C -4, -3, D -1, -3. When we multiply itatupatia A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. Just as we have multiplied the other one, is how we are going to multiply this one. So this one tutaanza hapa, tunataka kuanza na A. So A tukasema ni hii na hii. So itakuwa -2 times -1 plus 0 times -1. So -2 times -1 is 2 plus 0 times -1 is 0. So that one is 2. So hiyo itakuwa 2. Tunamaliza, tunafanya ya chini. Ya chini itakuwa 0, -2 na -1, -1. So itakuwa 0 times -1 plus -2 times -1, -2 times -1. So 0 times -1 is 0 plus -2 times -1 is 2. So that will be equal to 2. 2. So hapo itakuwa 2. Then tuende ya pili. So tumemalizana na hii. Tuende sasa ya pili. This one. Tunaanza na ya juu. -2 times -4 plus 0 times -1. -2 times -4 is 8 plus 0 times -1. 0 times any number is 0. So that will give us an 8. So hiyo itakuwa 8. Tuende ya chini. Ya chini ni 0 times -4 plus -2 times -1. 0 times -4 is 0 plus -2 times -1 is 2. Negative times negative is positive. So our answer is 2. Hiyo itakuwa 2. Tuende hiyo nyingine. Hiyo nyingine ni ya 3C. So ni ya juu na hii kushuka. So -2 times -4 na 0 times -3 plus 0 times -3. -2 times -4 is 8 plus 0 times -3 is 0. So that will give us 8. Tuende ya chini. Ya chini itakuwa 0 times -4 plus -2 times -3. 0 times -4 0 plus -2 times -3 is 6. So itakuwa 6. Tuende ya mwisho. Pole pole tu. Tuende ya mwisho. -2 times -1 plus 0 times -3. -2 times -1 is 2 plus 0 times 2 plus 0 is 2. So that will be 2. Alafu tuende ya mwisho ya chini 0 times -1 plus -2 times -3. So 0 times -1 is 0 plus -2 times -3 is 6. So 0 plus 6 is 6. So hiyo itakuwa 6. Ikuwa 6, we are done. So tumepata image yetu ikiwa nini? A prime 2 2, B prime 8 2, C prime 8 6, and D prime 2 6. Zuleka, I want you to draw this, the object and the image on your Cartesian plane, and send me that via WhatsApp. Nitumie WhatsApp sahi. Unitumie WhatsApp sahi as we are speaking. Plot it on the Cartesian plane, both the object and the image. That question inasema, ensure you plot it on the grid provided. So you have a graph book, plot it on the Cartesian plane, both the object and the image, so that we can proceed with the next question. Yes, now. Let's continue. That is correct. That is correct. You've drawn it the way it's supposed to be drawn. Let's respond to the second part of the question. Let us respond to the second part of the question, which reads, so we already have the coordinates of the image. This part B of the question, hii topic inanga mambo mingi, inanga stress. Part B of the question, part B of the question inasema hivi: A prime, A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, D double prime. This is now the second image. Is the image of A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. Natuambia hivyo. Under a transformational matrix P, under a transformation matrix P is equals to a half, 1, 1, a half, a half, 1, 1, a half. Roman 1, determine the coordinates. Determine the coordinates A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, D double prime. 4, not 4. 2 marks. 2 marks. Nataka tufanye hiyo. I want us to do that part. I want us to do that part. Ehe. Are you ready? Sasa tunaambiwa image ya pili ni image ya kwanza. The same concept applies. Matrix times object is equals to image. So kumaanisha the matrix, which is a half, 1, 1, a half, multiplied by the coordinates of the first image, A prime, B prime, C prime, inafaa itupatie A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. As simple as that. Na tulipata coordinates za first image zikiwa, coordinates za first image zilikuwa, coordinates za first image zilikuwa 2, 2. Sorry, kuna C prime na D prime prime. This is not a triangle. It's A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. So A prime ilikuwa 2, 2. B prime ilikuwa 8, 2. C prime ilikuwa 8, 6. And D prime ilikuwa 2, 6. Ilikuwa 2, 6. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I've noted that many students follow, they view but they do not subscribe. click the subscribe button so that each and every time I upload a new video, you'll always be updated. Like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell also. So, iko hivyo. Na sasa tunafaa kutafuta hii ya pili. This one. Haya. So, tumesema tukitaka hii ya kwanza, we take the first row. Hapa inafaa ianze a half hapo. Tunafaa tuchukue hii na hii. So a half times 2 is 1 plus 1 times 2. So a half times 2 is 1. 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. So hii itakuwa 3. Tuende ya pili. Ya chini. 1 times 2 is 2 plus a half times 2 is 1. So 2 plus 1 is 3. Bado hiyo itakuwa 3. Tuende hiyo nyingine. A half 1 and 8 2. So ni a half times 8 plus 1 times 2. So a half times 8 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. Then a half hii ya chini na hii. So 1 times 8 is 8 plus a half times 2. So 8 plus 1 itakuwa 9. Itakuwa 9. Itakuwa 9. Tuende ya tatu. A half times 8 plus 1 times 6. So a half times 8 is 4. 4 plus 6 is 10. So this one will be 10. Tuende ya chini. 1 times 8 is 8 plus a half times 6. So 1 times 8 is 8 plus a half times 6 is 3. So it will be 11. Alafu tuende ya mwisho kabisa. A half 1 and 2 6. So a half times 2 ni 1 plus 1 times 6 ni 6. So 1 plus 6 is equal to 7. Tuende ya chini. 1 times 2 is equal to 2 plus a half times 6 is 3. So 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. Hiyo nayo itakuwa 5. And we are done. We are done. We are done. So our A double prime, second image is 3 3. B double prime is 6 9. C double prime is 10 11. D double prime is 7 5. That is a continuation of the question. Na imesema bado uplot on the Cartesian plane. plot on the Cartesian plane. Roman 2, so hiyo ni Roman 1 tumemaliza. Roman 2 inasema on the grid provided, the same grid yenye umechorea hiyo. So this was part B. On the grid provided, draw on the same grid, on the same grid, on the same grid, draw the quadrilateral. Draw the quadrilateral. 1 mark. Chora unitumie WhatsApp. Chora unitumie WhatsApp. Haya, so that is how we find the image given the matrix of transformation and the object given the matrix of transformation and the object. So the second one is finding the matrix of transformation. 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 How do we find the matrix of transformation? How do we find the matrix of transformation? That is what I want us to do now. That is what I want us to do right now. How to find the matrix of transformation. We have a question. We'll be doing this thing with examples. So we have example number 1. My pen is becoming faint. Let me refill my pen. Let's refill it. So the first example that we are going to do reads the vertices of triangle T the vertices of triangle T are A 1 2, B 4 2, and C 3 4. The vertices of triangle T prime, the image of T are A A prime a half 1, B prime 2 1, and C prime 3 over 2 2. 3 over 2 2. Determine the transformation matrix M is equals to A, B, C, D. That is what we are supposed to determine. That maps T onto T prime. 3 maps. So, in this scenario, we have been given the coordinates of the object, the coordinates of the image. We are supposed to determine the matrix of transformation. What we started with was, we were given the matrix of transformation and the coordinates of the object, to which we determined the coordinates of the image. But the second part to understand in this topic is, we have been given the coordinates of the object, the coordinates of the image. We are now supposed to determine the matrix of transformation. So, for us to solve this, work out the solution, we need to understand that matrix times object is equivalent to image. Matrix times object is equal to image. So we already have our matrix. Tumepatiwa, ndo tunafaa tutafute in form of A, B, C, D. Then two objects are enough to find our matrix. Two are enough. We can just use two coordinates are enough. So we can choose to use A and B. We can choose to use A and B. A and B. So our A and our B. Our A was 1 2 and our B was 4 2. And now, if we use AB in this case, we are going to use A prime this case and B prime as they are arranged. So our A prime was a half 1. It was a half 1. And the B is 2 1. B is 2 1. So with this as our equation, matrix times object will give us image. We can be able to determine our matrix of transformation A, B, C, and D. How do we go about that? It is very easy to go about it. So as we said, it is the first row multiplied by the first column. The first row multiplied the first column. So A times 1 is equal to A plus B times 2 is equal to 2B. Then tunaenda ya chini. CD times the first column. C times 1 is C plus D times 2 is 2D. Tumemalizana na ya chini. Tuende next. First row, second column. So A times 4 is 4A plus B times 2 is 2B. Yes. Then tunaenda ya chini na column ya pili. So C times 4 is 4C plus D times 2 is equal to 2D. And we are done. Is equal to a half 2 1 1. A half 2 1 and 1. So when we reach here, or when we arrive at this point, this is when we now apply the concept of what we call equal matrices. we apply the concept of equal matrices. Equal matrices. So on equal matrices, we mean every element is equal to its corresponding element. Kila element is equal to its corresponding element. So hii juni ya kwanza iko equal na hii. Hii juni ya pili it is equal to this. This being the third is equal to this. Na hii inaenda na hiyo. So tutaanza na hii ya kwanza. A plus 2b is equal to a half. Na ya pili 4a plus 2b is equals to 2. Hizi mbili tukisolve zitatupatia a and b. Tugawanye. Tuende za pili. 4c plus 2d, c plus 2d is equals to 1. Nayo 4c plus 2d is equals to 1. Hizo nazo tukisolve zitatupatia c and d. Na tukisolve a, b, c and d tushapata matrix n. Tufute hapa juu. Tuendelee. Hata tufute heading. At least we know what we are doing. So tuchukue hii a plus 2b is equals to a half, na 4a plus 2b is equals to 2. So tukiwa hapo we can decide to eliminate b, juu b zinafanana. 2b and 2b, 2b and 2b are equal to each other. So we can just go straight to the point and subtract. A minus 4a is negative 3a. 2b minus 2b is a 0. So itabaki equals to a half minus 2. What is a half minus 2? It is negative 1.5. A half minus 2 is equal to negative 1.5. A half minus 2 is equal to a half minus 2 is negative 1.5. It is negative 1.5. Tunataka kubaki na a peke yake, so tutadivide na negative 3 na negative 3. Tukidivide tutapata a ni nini? Negative 1.5 divide by 3 itakuwa negative a half. Tukipata negative a half, to proceed kutafuta b. Tutatafuta aje b? Mahali kuna a tuweke negative a half in either the two equations. So tunaweza sema tuiweke hapa iwe negative a half plus 2b is equals to a half. Is equals to a half. So tunataka kubaki na b. So tutapeleka hii the other side iwe 2b equals to a half plus a half. So 2b is equal to a half plus a half is 1. Then we divide by 2. By 2 we get our b as a half. Hiyo nao tumepata. Na hiyo tumepata. So tuende sasa kusolve c and d. C and d. So we have c plus 2d is equals to 1. Na 4c plus 2d is equals to 1. So tunataka kusolve hiyo. Hii ni 2d na hii ni 2d. So when we subtract we can just get minus 3c. C minus 4c is minus 3c. This one is 0 is equals to 1 minus 1 is a 0. So we divide both sides by negative 3 by negative 3. And 0 divided by negative 3 is equal to 0. So our c is 0. Tukipata c yetu ni 0, tukuja tuweke hapa tutafute d. So itakuwa 0 plus 2d is equals to 1. We divide by 2 by 2. We end up getting our d as a half. So we have our a we have our B, we have our C, we have our D. And therefore, our matrix M, A, B, C, D, our matrix M, which was equal to A, B, C, D, is equal to, what is our A? Negative a half. Our B, a half. Our C, 0. And our D, a half. We are done. That is our matrix. That is our matrix. Which one is positive a half? Anisha futa. But I hope you have understood. Just write it on the comment section whether you have understood. I don't know whether I made any arithmetic error in terms of sign, positive and negative, but that is generally how we go about it. Have you understood? Tell me on the comment section whether you have understood. And thanks for correction. You can rectify that part, but basically that is how we go about it. Have we understood? Haya, that is okay. Shishiguri. Let's continue. I hope you have understood. If that is okay, then let me give you a question to do. This we call it a should be not a teacher-centered approach, but more of a student-centered approach. You should also be in a position to do the questions on your own. So let me write down a question so that you can do, and I'll mark it for you. Good. Do this question. A triangle T whose vertices are A 2, 3, B 5, 3, and C 4, 1 is mapped onto triangle T1 whose vertices are A prime negative 4, 3, B prime negative 1, 3, and C prime HY by a transformation. M is equals to A, B, C, D. A, find the Roman 1 matrix M of the transformation. Matrix M of the transformation. So, I want you to do that question. That question is 4 marks. That question is 4 marks. So, do that question. Send your working and your answer on WhatsApp. Send your working on WhatsApp. And I'm going to mark it for you. Send your response. If you are done, send the response on WhatsApp. I'm checking it out. I have seen where you've gone long. Haujakosea mbali. I've seen where you've gone wrong. This is where you've gone wrong. From your work, 2a plus 3b is equals to -4. And 5a plus 3b is equals to -1. You subtracted because this one is 0, correct? So 2a minus 5a is -3a is equals to -4 minus. So -4 minus -1, minus and minus becomes plus. So it will be -3. It will not be -5. So hapo umeandika -5, that is long. It should be -3a is equals to -3. So that when you divide both sides by -3 by -3, you will get a is equal to 1. I think you can do that correction. Do that correction. That is the only part you've gone wrong. Na hii ingine b, hapo umeandika -4 3. Hii ingine sinafaa iwe -1 3. Hizo coordinates a prime -4 3, b prime it should be -1 3, not -1 1. It should be -1 3. It should be -1 3. It should be -1 3. Do that correction. So we've come to the end of our class, and we've come to the end of our class. We were working out on matrices and transformation, and the class has come to an end. Let us meet later as we continue simplifying and making maths easier. And tomorrow we will continue with unit square and successive transformations. And by doing unit square and successive transformation, shear and stretch, we will be done with matrices and transformation, so that we can now embark on statistics 1. Have a good day. Have a good evening. Sorry, it's not a day. Now we are now heading to night. Have a good evening. Also, remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn on the notification bell. Just click the notification bell. Just tap it. Click the notification bell. That is just like telling me thank you. And also share this video with another student, so that we can all learn, relearn and unlearn. Don't forget, this is your one and only teacher Asaf, the teacher who turns confusion into clarity. I always say that the sky is our limit. The sky is our limit. Let's keep on turning confusion into clarity. Top Grade Maths Academy is here for you, so that it can help you simplify and make maths easier, and not just mathematics, even chemistry, even biology, yes, and a majority of the subjects. Have a good evening.